Hey there shooters, I'm Marcus Hom. Today we're talking about the American Rifle Company Nucleus action. Let me start by saying this isn't going to be a 40-minute video where I use words like toroidal surfaces and outward radial biasing. If that's your kind of thing, I'd recommend getting over to American Rifle Company's YouTube channel and watching the original video Ted Courageous put out when he introduced the Nucleus action. Ted's kind of the mad scientist, the owner, the inventor over there at American Rifle Company, and the Nucleus is kind of his brainchild. So he really went in depth, breaking it down to all the different components and explaining why he did what he did with the action. I liked watching it, but I kind of geek out on that kind of stuff. For you guys, what we have is just a quick rundown of what makes this a good candidate for a precision rifle build. To start with, I like the fact that it's a Remington 700 footprint. I think that that's almost a necessity anymore because of how many stocks are offered for the Remington 700 footprint first. And granted, a lot of companies will offer inlets for the Savage and Tikka and things like that, but there are very few companies out there that would offer something for the Tikka and not offer it for the Remington. So it just makes it a little bit more universal. The next thing I'd like to mention about the action is the fact that they went with an 1/16 by 20 thread pattern. And that's the Savage small shank thread pattern. It was just a really good idea to do that because there are so many Savage pre-fit barrels already out there on the market. There's companies like Criterion that sell them to Northland shooters, and Northland Shooters keeps them in stock. So a guy could pretty much order his Nucleus action and at the same time order up a barrel, and they'd have that on the shelf, be able to send it out. You could headspace it, lock your barrel nut down, and you'd be all set, ready to go. In this case, I'm using the bar lock system, which is something that American Rifle Company created. It's very similar to a pre-fit barrel nut system. It does have a barrel nut, as you can see here, but it also has a tensioning ring. And what the tensioning ring does is it clamps down, and there's some geometric surfaces. Once again, Ted could explain it better than I could, but those surfaces basically press everything out, which makes it an even tighter fit. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the bolt throw, and the bolt stop. So I'll first talk about the bolt throw. It's 78 degrees, which is less than the conventional 90 that you'll see in a Remington 700 or a lot of the other clones that are out there. 78 degrees just means from the locked or bottom position here, you only have to rotate up 78 degrees instead of, like I said, the typical 90 to unlock. Now, once the bolt reaches the rear portion of its travel, it's stopped by the bolt stop. In this case, the bolt stop is through the top portion of the action here. So it's a very robust pin that is mounted very solidly in the action. And to release the bolt, you just simply have to rotate the bolt stop rearward and your bolt will come out. You can see here the abutment on this top recoil lug is recessed a little bit. And that's the recess that the bolt stop fits into. I like this design because it is so robust. I've had some problems in the past with pins breaking on smaller bolt stops, or the bolt stop impinging somewhere on the bolt and creating a burr. And because the surface areas that contact each other are so large, I really don't think that this is going to be a problem with this action. So I really do appreciate how Ted took the extra time and kind of design that feature in there. Another feature to this bolt I should mention is the interchangeable bolt faces. And what that allows you to do is swap out just the face of this, or the head of the bolt, and you can run different cartridges. So right now I've got the 422, and that's for the 6.8 SPC, or in this case the 224 Valkyrie. And I also have a bolt face for the 308, so I can run, say, 6.5 Creedmoor, 308, or that whole family of cartridges. Ted also makes the Magnum size bolt face, so if you wanted to run something like a Winchester short mag or an RSOM in this short action, you could do that as well. 6.5 PRC would also be that Magnum bolt face size. So overall, I've been pretty satisfied running this Nucleus action. It's been very high quality, and it's really come in at a pretty reasonable price point. It seemed like last year most of the manufacturers were trying to come up with an offering at that sub $1,000 mark, and really as precision rifle shooters, we've been spoiled in the level of quality that manufacturers are producing for the price nowadays and the features we get. Like I said earlier, this is a Remington 700 footprint with an 1 1/16 by 20 barrel thread. It takes Remington 700 triggers. It comes with the scope base, which is not integral, but I kind of like that because if I ever wanted to shoot ELR with this, I could put on a steeper cant, or if I ever had a scope that didn't have the adjustment in it to run the 20 MOA base, I could go to a flat base. So it just gives me a few other options. So I know there was a little bit of drama when this action first came out, but most of that was really oriented around people not getting them when they thought they were going to. And I gotta say, if the biggest complaint that people have is, man, I didn't get mine soon enough, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, everyone would like to make their deadlines, but ultimately, quality is what counts. And when it comes to this action, I would say American Rifle Company has done a wonderful job. They've used quality components, they've used innovative designs, and then they've integrated all the things that most people are really looking for. Like I said, it's a Savage small shank compatible thread pitch, which is 1 1/16 by 20. It's a Remington 700 footprint, takes Remington 700 triggers, has interchangeable scope base, or your scope rail, so you can have different cants. And like I said, it's just a really robust action that has been very simple to work on and also very slick to use in the field. I've been really enjoying shooting it, and I look forward to what Ted and the folks over there at American Rifle Company choose to do here in the future.